All right, so it looks like we had another wild day today. Got back on a horse, got bucked off, but was able to keep some of the losses to a minimum. Had to close that Snapchat trade. Just was not setting up, man. We'll take a look at it, but ended up taking a $600 loss on that one. Still have a long position in the ES. Think they will push up higher overnight. But made a good trade on SM for a bull flag setup. It was actually a perfect bull flag setup. So with that said, let's jump into these trades. We won't get into all of them. Just look at the ones that were a big loss or a big winner and learn from those. All right, so first up the bat is Snapchat. This was a swing trade that was entered in last week around this 1551 area. We did have a level of support down here, somewhere between 1420, I should say. So that actually is a good area of support. We was able to push through these moving averages, break to a new high. This was some previous area of resistance, but as you can see, we got these big topping tails. Sellers step back in the market and push this thing lower. Now, yesterday, Apple came out with the new iPhone and all the new features and things like that and said, hey, they will open their 3D camera up to all third-party vendors or apps. And people might say, hey, that's caused Snapchat to drop. In all honesty, I don't really think it has anything to do with Apple. It's all about, for me, supply and demand, price action. At the very end of the day, is Snapchat worth $15.50? Is it worth that a share? That's what I have to ask myself. Is it really worth that? And if it's not, then there's no way that this stock is going to go higher. If it is, all right, it's going to go higher. But if you just pay attention to the chart and what price is telling you, price is actually saying, hey, this stock is not worth this area. It's not worth anything between 1580, 1528, 1529 range. Every time it has pushed up there, it has fallen back down. Sellers step into the market and sell away some of their position. So with that said, that tells me, hey, I don't need to be long Snapchat. So I just flipped my trade, took a loss on it. Flipped my trade, started shorting Snapchat around 1491 to be exact, just a small size, 1,000 shares, to see, hey, is this a true area of resistance, or is this just going to be a consolidation area till we push higher? So right now I'm actually short Snap, 1,000 shares around 1491, and we'll see how it plays out. I truly believe, hey, this is an area of resistance. This is not a consolidation area. These wicks are too long. Sellers stepped in and pushed this thing back down. Push this one back down. Push that back down. Push that back down. How many times do you have to hit your head on the wall before you realize, hey, it hurts. This is a wall. You're not going to break through. So with that in mind, I'm gonna take a short position on Snap. Try to make back some of that loss, but more or less it's about the setup. If the setup makes sense, then I can stomach the loss on the long side because I know this short setup makes sense. So that's Snapchat. Next trade was a trade on Hertz. Was around a $600 loss on Hertz. This stock pretty much whipsawed back and forth throughout the day. No clear direction. Let me move to a 15-minute chart and you can see kind of what I saw. So here on this 15-minute chart, you see that, hey, Hertz is going back and forth between 2410 with 2413 and what's this, 2364. It's pretty much going back and forth. No clear direction, no fine entry, no defined exit. So I took a long position right here at 2397. a break above this high, got increased volume. Very next candle, boom, we drop back down. Very next candle, boom, drop back down. I held till it came back to where are we at? Right here, 23.87, and ended up closing out the trade because it did not feel that, hey, this stock was going to push higher. It did push up to 24.13, but by then I was already out. You know, I was expecting this move here, this normal entry. You know, we got to break above this high. This was the first 15-minute candle. We got to break above their high. We had volume increase to 332,000, and we could not sustain this level. You know, this level for some reason has been a headache the past 2 days, where hey, sellers are stepping in and saying, hey, you know, we don't think Hertz is worth 24.10, 24.15. Now, when you look at it on the daily chart, it has some of the resemblance of Snapchat, where, you know, buyers have tried to push this stock higher, and to no result. You know, it's been pushed back lower. Now, granted, today it did end up closing up a little higher than, you know, the previous 2 days, 23.95, which is great, but most of that was off the initial push from the first 15-minute candle. Now, if Hertz is actually just consolidating, move sideways, and then push higher, that'd be great. So I'll sit on my hands and wait and see what it does, whether or not it's going to consolidate, push sideways, or roll over and retest this area of support right here around 22.80. So that was a trade on Hertz. Took a small loss on it. Like I said, I still have a long position in the ES minis. They're making a new high today, so I'm looking good on that. Took a entry at 24.93.50, so that trade is actually working out well. They can continue to push higher, that'll be great. If not, I will exit that trade or overnight or first thing in the morning. I did hold through this pullback because I knew we had a strong level of support down here at 24.88. You can see that on the daily chart. This area right here, which was the previous high back in, what's this, August 8th. So this area is actually holding up to be a strong area of support, which was an area of previous resistance. When we broke through this area, volume went up just a little bit. I wouldn't get excited about it. You know, over a million shares, 1.5 million shares, nothing to get excited about. But for what it's worth, it's holding up right now. So I'll continue to hold those 5 contracts of ES minis long to the long side, see how far they can run. Last trade was, or is, a great bull flag setup. SM. You can see got an area of support down here around 12.29, pushing higher. This is the candle yesterday. It was actually a range of $1.42. So today I had it on my watch list to enter. However, I did not see it until pretty much all this had already taken place. So we had an opening this morning at 14.85. Pushed all the way up to 1560. Said, well, I'm gonna follow my plan today, which is not chase this thing. Even though I do want to get in it, I wasn't gonna chase it. Wait for the first pullback to finish and look for the first candle to make a new high with increased volume. So once we got this pullback, I said, all right, that's what I'm looking for. Next candle was right here, which actually it made a new high, but I did not have the volume I was looking for. You know, volume was still pretty light, 200,000 shares. It's like, all right, well, wait for some volume, some other people to see this and get in. Very next candle, boom, we broke, got our new volume increase, entered in at 1562, was able to hold it all the way up to 1592, sold half my position, 1592. Then sold another quarter of my position right here at 1609, and that left me with pretty much just what, 250 shares after those first two sell-offs, and got to push higher. Ended up taking the rest of my position off of 1615. So this was a great bull flag setup. If you're not familiar with bull flags, when they work, they really do work, and when they don't, they really don't work, you know, plainly as put. So you got your flagpole. Let me change this right here. Got your flagpole right here, and we got our area of support right there, forming the actual flag piece. Let me move this out the way so you can really see. Move that and remove that. So when you look at it, it looks like an actual flag. You got your flagpole, which is your increasing price action. You get some sellers to go ahead and take profits, pushing the stock lower 3 candles. You look for the first candle to make a new high with increased volume. Some people might have entered in on this candle just based off of what happened to me yesterday. I was a little more cautious. I didn't get into this candle, which was my actual increase in volume candle. Got in right here, 1562 for the next leg higher. So it was a great trade. You know, when you can find these patterns, whether it's a bull flag or a U-shaped bottom or a triple top or a cup and handle, you got to take advantage of those setups. You know, it's not often you get a pattern to form where you know, hey, if XYZ happens, then I can expect this to happen. Now, based off the rules of a flag, you know, a bull flag, you should look to gain the length of the flag or the height of the flag. So from 1563 down here to 1533 is pretty much a 30-cent pop. So from my entry of 1562 all the way up here to 16, hey, that's my 30-cent pop. That's what I was looking for. You know, those are the rules. You have to know about different patterns, whether it's a cup and handle, a U shape, a V bottom, a triple top. Learn the rules to the patterns, and that'll help you be a better trader. So that's SM. Like I said, today was I wouldn't call it a rocky day. It wasn't a bad day. It just had to take that loss on Snapchat, and you know, the little back and forth on HTZ. Other than that, it would have been a pretty good day. But we'll jump back on the horse tomorrow and ride this bull higher, or hey, if it's a bear, we'll ride it lower. No matter what it is, we're gonna be back in the market tomorrow. We're gonna face adversity. We're gonna confront challenge. I am the Bearded Trader. This is the market recap for Wednesday, September 13th. You all have a great day.